But with this, I don't think we're going to get an R-rated like movie with these characters.
Probably not.
No, I as much as I would love to see it, I don't think it'll happen.
But not getting an R-rated movie means they have to nerf the Punisher.
Double Toasted's 11th year anniversary party is coming up. Join us for a full weekend of live music, shows, comedy, after parties, a movie screening, and more. Get your tickets by going to dtanniversary.eventbrite.com or use the QR code right there to take you to the site and get your tickets today. And I'll be back at the Broadway Comedy Club June 27th for my own style of sit-down comedy. You'll also be doing some open mic. So get your tickets now by going to doubletoastedny.com. Use that QR code right there.
Speaking of movies that we're just cruising along here to our main topic, I would say, this weekend there was a pretty big announcement about old Spider-Man. Jon Bernthal'S Punisher is set for Spider-Man Brand New Day with Tom Holland. Exciting stuff because, you know, people have been wanting to see a crossover between Spider-Man and any character where it's focused on Spider-Man, right?
Well, yeah, I saw something online recently where somebody talked about how in Spider-Man movies, he's almost a guest star, or there's always a guest star who's upstaging him.
Yeah, the villains, I guess, and stuff like that.
With the first movie, which I love, but you know, Iron Man, Tony Stark steps in.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's in that movie.
Yeah. How did you forget? He comes in and goes like, "This is my movie for a little bit. I'm gonna give it back to you, but for a while, it's me."
And before I go, put these glasses on real quick.
Yeah. What you had Jake Gyllenhaal with the second one, or Nick Fury rather. They talked about him being there, and then with the third one, Doctor Strange is always, you know, it's always a Marvel team up rather than just a Spider-Man movie.
Well, it's funny that you say that because the direction that I think Marvel is going is just basically team ups. And I guess I can just jump into that because if you look at it, like one of the most successful team ups, it's debatable, you know, but one of the most successful team ups and a secret sauce that I think they're constantly reaching into is the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Sure.
I mean, when that came out, that really showed them like the blueprint of how they could make these teams. And you can see how they pulled some of those like styles into even things like the Avengers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, there's this has become a pretty big trend, these team up movies. We just got another one, Thunderbolts,
right,
which is just all team. And then next we got the Fantastic Four movie coming as a team up. So that was one of the points that I wanted to make about this is I think that we're going to get a Spider-Man movie that's kind of going to be all about a team up. And it won't just be the Punisher who will be there. It's an easy way for them to get Daredevil in there. But have you heard what the main rumor is of who's going to pop in there?
No.
Do you want to take a guess at who is going to be there on screen with old Spider-Man?
Would it be the Kingpin?
That's a good guess, I guess, for a potential villain.
Another hero? But
yeah, someone is a hero, but also someone who I think that, you know, they could kind of fight.
Oh, oof.
It's going to be very obvious once you see it. But the big rumor right now is that the Incredible Hulk is going to show up in the movie.
Oh,
and
okay.
That leads to some interesting ideas because seeing Spider-Man fight the Hulk, that would be cool. But seeing the Punisher fight the Hulk with guns, that would be pretty intense.
You think? Because the bullets won't hurt him.
I feel like it'll maybe not, but in my head, I was just imagining like green blood or something, you know, when something like this happens.
I don't think there's ever been a Hulk versus Punisher. Well, I guess you're showing this here.
There's a couple.
Okay.
There's at least one more. Yeah. See, I have this one.
Yeah. That's just, but that's such a bad matchup. That I don't get. I mean, Spider-Man and the Hulk, I get it, especially in as much as they are partly owned by other studios, to where they can't make a solo Hulk movie. So having him show up in something else makes perfect sense.
And I also think that the Punisher coming in is something that will be able to work pretty naturally for Spider-Man, especially with where he is right now.
Well, especially when you consider that the Punisher's first appearance was in Spider-Man.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, they both street level heroes, despite the fact that Spider-Man has been to space now. a lot. I feel like it takes him out of it. But yeah, he's still labeled as street level, and which the Punisher definitely is. So that combination I see working pretty well.
And the way that I see it working especially well is because if you think about it, like there's kind of like some room for like a father figure or type character to like come in there. Not necessarily saying that the Punisher is going to be like his new dad or anything, but like there's room for someone to come in as a mentor, I think.
Yeah. The Punisher's crazy though.
He is.
And he's not even that kind of crazy where after a while you go like, oh, I think he's crazy. Like first meeting, you're like, okay, this guy's unhinged. Especially the way they have Jon Bernthal playing him. So it'd be hard to see him as a mentor. But hey, a good writer can make it work.
Sure. And maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit saying a mentor, but what I'm mainly trying to say is that I think Spider-Man more or less is in a darker place where he did just lose his second mentor, right?
Yeah.
Like he lost Uncle Ben,
yeah,
and then he lost Tony Stark. Now he's kind of in a darker place.
And in the MCU, there's no Uncle Ben.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, look, I dig what they do with Spider-Man, but if I have any complaint, it's like, you don't have an Uncle Ben, so you've taken away his whole reason for being Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I guess I just have like in my head like the timeline of Spider-Man, just like, like the regular overarching story. Like it all kind of has blended together, especially because they've had all the Spider-Mans together, in the movie now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess he lost Aunt May. He lost Aunt May. Thank you, chat. Yeah, Marissa Tomei as Aunt May. So I guess like there's just like he's in a sadder place than we're used to Spider-Man being. I guess that's a point I'm trying to make.
No one remembers him. Him and MJ aren't together anymore.
Yeah.
Let's see how long that holds. Yeah.
But we don't know much about the story other than the potential of these characters. But them crossing over is nothing. It's nothing new. Right. Like they've gone as far as just having Spider-Man on the cover of the Hulk, no Hulk in sight. Mm-hmm. So they know that all these characters will put butts in seats, but who knows where they're going to go with this? There's a lot of speculation we could do, but the thing that I thought about and some of the stuff I found online made me go, maybe, especially with where the MCU left off. Do you know which character was like thought of and designed to be as a counter for the Hulk?
Was it the Abomination?
It was and I've heard this from like right from the source, like it was Stan Lee talking to the guy who created this other character, which is Wolverine.
Oh, okay.
Wolverine is the character who just got his big debut in the MCU.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're going to put Wolverine in that new movie. I think that would be kind of crazy if the Wolverine ended up in that Spider-Man movie.
Well, if there's any character who's been a hero figure, an idol to Spider-Man, it's Wolverine.
Really?
Yes.
Tell me more.
Yes, he has a man crush on Wolverine.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that. So that sounds like great potential. So
yeah, they even did a thing where after they had one of their team ups, Peter Parker starts styling his hair like Wolverine.
So they're like fanboying over each other?
Well, not Wolverine to him.
Okay. I misunderstood because I was like, Wolverine had a man crush on him.
No. Spider-Man had a man crush on Wolverine.
Okay. Yeah. And I could see that, that's easy setup for comedy. Mm-hmm. But something like this makes me think that a team up is inevitable with these characters.
Yeah.
Who knows if it'll go towards this? I just thought that this was a cute image to use to represent that. But I don't know. Maybe you guys in the chat could tell us what you think the story is going to go. But for now, that's all we can really do is speculate on on where they could go with all these characters teaming up. But I really do think that we're going to get a movie where it's all like, it's not just Spider-Man, Hulk, and Punisher. I think there's going to be one more guy in there, maybe Daredevil or something like that.
Yeah, see, that would make sense because Daredevil has been kind of that for Spider-Man, where elder statesmen are like, kid, you got the goods. I like working with you, and let me show you some things. Interesting. There was during one of the best runs of Spider-Man while he was mature and married to Mary Jane, at least they were together. They had a conversation where she was like, you mix it up with all these heroes. What would you do if you get attacked? He's like, well, with each one of them, I've thought of ways to take them down.
Also, kind of like Batman in a way where he's always prepared.
It's not like he's always prepared, but he's just like, I've had time to think about it. Like, if I had to fight this guy, what would I do? And she's like, even the Hulk? He's like, yeah, I even have, something. I have a strategy for what I would do.
And the Hulk is a character that I feel like just hasn't gotten enough shine. Like we got Red Hulk, but we got like only like one real movie, The Incredible Hulk. And that's like, like everyone's least favorite stepchild, that movie. Like, I'm a big fan, but I know a lot of people don't care for it.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah. And some people act like it never happened, but I think
you can't do that now.
Yeah.
The new Captain America movie went, nope, you can't ignore this one anymore.
And I was glad that they did that, but I'm wondering, and I'm not very familiar with all the lore of the Hulk, but do you know anything about like Joe Fixit? Is that Bruce Banner?
Yeah. It's kind of an alter ego for him. And in that form, he's gray like he was when he started and smaller, but he's smarter. And he became, enforcer for the mob, the Las Vegas mob.
Okay, that's a really interesting story. I just wonder where they're gonna go with the Mark Ruffalo Hulk, because like he's kind of peaking, and I feel like they need to introduce something to like have some sort of conflict in there for the character. I don't know. I'm not very well versed in Joe Fixit. I recognize him as just the Gray Hulk, but there's a lot of variations of the Hulk. And I thought they did some interesting stuff with him on Unpopular Opinion on She-Hulk, a show that people really did not care for.
Yeah. The thing with the Hulk is you could have him going through transformations where, yes, he's Joe Fixit and he's smaller, but he's smarter. Although they have him in, he's Smart Hulk now. I mean, but Joe Fixit, he was smarter than the Brute Hulk. But,
the Brood Hulk?
The Brute.
Oh, the Brute. Oh, just the regular Hulk.
Yeah, the regular Hulk who, speaks in like broken English and all. But with Joe Fixit, he's really more of a thug. That's kind of his mentality.
Okay. I'm also okay with them hiding stuff from us, which movies thankfully have been doing. Sometimes they do it too much 28 years later, but other times, they have like some nice surprises.
Yeah. That has been a thing with so many of the Marvel movies, right? You see so much in the trailer and then you get to the actual movie and it's like, oh, there's so much here they didn't show us.
And speaking of stuff that they don't show us, something that we, I guess we can end on, unless there are people in the chat. Is there anything that you guys want to share before we move on from this here topic? This isn't going to be the longest show, but it will be a good one, I promise. Hot take: I don't hate Smart Hulk. I think most people like the Smart Hulk. Yeah, I think that it's a great character, and it's a well-rounded like representation of what we've seen of that character. Seeing the Punisher is going to be in this. Do you feel like it's one step closer from getting us in a Spider-Man R-rated film? I know you and Corey had that bet.
You got that bet. Yeah, when this news came out, everybody lit up going like, oh, the bet.
Yeah, that's right.
Julian was right.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I saw on Reddit there was a post that's like, Corey owes Julian $200. It's like, this movie is not going to be rated R, but it's getting close.
Yeah, it's getting pretty close.
What I'm holding out for with that bet is that the Spider Noir show, which counts, if that'll be TVMA. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay. And that seems possible. But with this, I don't think we're going to get an R-rated like movie with these characters.
Probably not.
No, I as much as I would love to see it, I don't think it'll happen.
But not getting an R-rated movie means they have to nerf the Punisher.
Yeah, that's why I was saying green blood, because I don't know how else they would do that. Because you got to have the Punisher shooting the Hulk. If you're going to do it, you got to do it. But they can get away with Spider-Man just fighting the Hulk, with his webs and it being amazing to see. So maybe that's what the focus of the film would be, but we don't know enough yet. We haven't even gotten a trailer yet. So from now on, we can only speculate, but who knows? But when I did look up comic books with Spider-Man and the Punisher and the Hulk, I found some very interesting stuff.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the Marvel series of comics, the What the?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I was not. And I was given a pretty nice surprise of the Hulk drinking tea going, union rules, don't you know? And you can see there's the Punisher. He's sewing something.
Oh, yeah.
And Spider-Man is also drinking tea or something. I don't know. So my point is with this is that all these characters, at some point, they all cross over. You can see there's Johnny Storm. Who knows where they're going to go with this?
That book is all parody.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure. Oh, I know that, but but I'm just saying that there's other examples where you can see all of these characters crossing over. That was just a fun looking one that I found. But I don't think that we're going to get this R-rated movie that I really want, but I think that there is a little bit of a chance because they know how much money Deadpool Wolverine made. And the R rating didn't skip a beat for that movie.
Sure did.
Not even a little bit. I think that we're getting to a point where parents just straight up do not give a shit. It's it's all about the marketing and what the parents want to see at the end of the day. And they know that the internet is worse than that movie. So whatever. People are saying, what about Mr. Negative? I know that was the villain in the Spider-Man 2 video game.
Right.
Is he in the comic at all?
He is.
Okay.
He is. He never made the big splash to me, but there's probably some people who are really into him.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that his writing in the game was just fine.
Yeah,
I guess it was just pretty typical villain. He has an interesting look that would probably look pretty good on camera, but for the most part, people are there for one thing, and it's to see Spider-Man and the Punisher just finally team up and give us what we've always wanted. And if you're going to throw the Hulk in the mix, that's a pretty good choice. Who knows? There's so many characters that I could see showing up, from Ironheart to Moon Knight. Who knows who they're going to try and shove in this to promote something else?
They've built a pretty big roster.
They have, and it's getting a little messy. But good thing with this Fantastic Four movie coming out, they're going kind of back to basics, where it's still a team, but they're pulling back and they're not going to involve all those other characters until the very end, according to the director. They've claimed that this is a standalone film, and I hope so, because I think that at the end of the day, if you're going to do some these superhero movies, you got to let them stand on their own and breathe.
Sure.
Otherwise, you end up with stuff even the best that Star Wars has done, like Rogue One. If you watch just Rogue One, you're going to be like, who is everyone?
Well, the beauty of Rogue One is that it is so standalone that you forget that it's a Star Wars movie, property.
Yeah, that is true.
It's wow, this is just a badass show about rebellion. And this is the rebels from A New Hope. What? Oh yeah. Oh, suddenly this has a whole lot of gravity to it.
Yeah, and we'll see if they can keep doing great stories. But I'm hopeful for where they're going now with these movies, because I thought Thunderbolts was great.
Oh yeah, it was. And I don't know if you saw the thing from James Gunn recently, where he mentioned that he said box office is down because a lot of these movies get made where they don't have finished scripts. Scripts aren't tight. And he also said that he felt bad for Marvel because their corporate overlords made them pump out so many movies.
Really?
Yeah. And I was saying that, it's slit in their throats because they were being forced. The mouse was just like, just like with Star Wars, let's get 2 or 3 of these out every year, and TV series. Because even it was beyond the initial, it quickly became, this is a bad idea.
It was a bad idea because a lot of they didn't think ahead, what would be the next thing they did. And they were just like, whatever, like we'll make the money back with action figures. And I think they more or less have been breaking even, but like the movie quality like was really all over the place.
Yeah.
And I think that the story suffered for it. But then there's a lot of other stuff like Jonathan Majors' whole controversy and shit like that.
Yeah, but
came into play.
him or not, it was just the quality of the movies, especially the writing and the plots, and and even some of them when you're like, well, it was okay, I guess, but it's like, well, okay, I guess it doesn't really cut it.
Yeah, especially when the bar was set astronomically high.
Yeah,
it set high enough to have Spider-Man in space.
right. So high that everybody knew when it was done. It's like, man, how can they top that? Well, they probably can't. It'll take, they'll step it down a little bit, but nobody was prepared for the steps to keep going lower and lower.
Yeah, especially when like they were really trying to like make the TV all canon and like it gives people way too much stuff to watch.
Yeah.
Like mentioning stuff a little bit here and there, that's fine. Like I'm sure there was some executive that was just like licking his lips with a hard on going, this Deadpool movie is going to reference a Loki TV show. Oh yeah. Like I'm sure they were all about that, even though like you don't need to watch that show to understand that movie at all. But I do think that we're pretty much like in agreement on the same page here that they're going to be making these teams, and I think they're going to just keep doing that.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's going to run dry eventually, but
look, something like a multiverses runs dry. Teams themselves, I don't think so.
that is true.
Especially if it's not all just big teams, but some of it is just a two-person partnership.
That is true. Yeah, like Deadpool Wolverine, or like in the case we just got with Thunderbolts, where at times it was just like two people, and the best moments were just like two or three of them just shooting the shit and talking. So you're probably right. So maybe they've figured out the recipe of James Gunn's secret sauce that he was using, and they're gonna slowly use it.
Hopefully so.
Well, would you look at that? You made it to the end of the video. That means you really like us. So just go ahead and press that like button and subscribe while you're at it. And check out our other channels, our social media like Instagram, TikTok, and our Patreon, where we have new stuff coming up all the time. And we'll see you on the next video.